All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us today on Site Review Tuesday. For those of you guys who know how things work, go ahead and get a number in the chat. We need a number from 1 to 109. If this is your first time hanging out with us on Site Review Tuesday, I'm going to explain how this works. Basically, we are going to review 3 sites live. Each website is going to get 15 minutes per review. The third website is going to be coming from one of you guys who are hanging out with us there in the live chat. And as always, we are giving points but not keeping score. Go ahead and say hi to us. If you're hanging out with us for the first time, say hi to us. Let us know where you're from. As always, we appreciate those of you guys who come back week after week and hang out with us every single week on Tuesday and Thursday. Now, I've got Katie hanging out, taking care of you guys in the chat, so make sure that you show her some love. She does an awesome job helping me every single Tuesday take care of you guys, making sure that I pronounce things correctly, keeping me on track, and helping me review your guys' sites. Okay, some quick announcements really quick before we jump into the review. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but this Thursday we're going to be having a live interview and Q&A session with Jeff Cable. So if you guys don't know who Jeff Cable is, he is one of our ambassadors who also happens to have photographed the Olympics for like the last 6 years, I believe. Really cool guy. Got a lot of amazing insights and really cool things that we're going to talk about for you guys live this Thursday. We are going to do it a little bit different. Hopefully I can avoid any audio issues like I had last week when I had Katie on. I think I've got that sorted out, but that is this Thursday. You guys won't want to miss it. You'll want to make sure that you come hang out because you'll be able to ask Jeff questions as well as just listen to the years of experience and things that he has to say. The Ultimate Photographer Starter Package Sweepstakes is still going on. The link to enter that is in the description below this video, just to give you guys a quick peek at what the grand prize winner will get. Here it is right here, to include that $250 B&H gift certificate. So something really cool. Hopefully one of you guys or somebody that's constantly watching the YouTube channel is going to win it. That's what I'm rooting for anyway. But if you haven't entered yet, you still have quite a bit of time to enter that. The link to do that is in the description below the video. Grand prize winner gets some pretty amazing things. And then just to remind you guys, we are continuing the group training sessions. There is one for Book Me. So if you haven't checked out Book Me yet, or maybe you've checked it out, but you haven't set it up yet, maybe you'd like some help setting it up, there's a Book Me group training session. There's a basic selling session and an advanced selling session. If you are just getting started selling on Zenfolio, the basic selling session is definitely the one that you want to sign up for. If you've been around Zenfolio for a little while and you have a really good grasp on building price lists, digital products, and things like that, the advanced selling session is the one that you're going to want to go for. And the link to sign up for all of those is in the description below the video. Last announcement I have is, as always, you guys, we're continuing to challenge you guys to post positive things daily on your social media. Put images up that will brighten people's day, make people laugh, make people smile. And while you're doing that, go ahead and use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance to be featured on one of our social media platforms. Let's see. Let me say hi to a few of you guys there in chat really quick. We've got Darren Mark. Hey, Darren, it's been a while since I've seen you. Welcome back. Photography by Ginger. Got the first number. She said number 41, so I'm going to grab that site in a second. Hey, Photography by Ginger, or Ginger, I'm guessing. Thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. Let's see. Lynn is on here. Russell Foot, Home Phone, and then Eduardo. I can't pronounce the last name. Says Hola from Argentina. So, hey, Eduardo, thanks for jumping on here and hanging out. My Spanish is really bad, if basically non-existent. So I'm not even going to embarrass myself while making an attempt, but welcome. Thank you for jumping on here and joining us. Okay, Ginger got the first number. She said number 41. Let's go ahead and jump in and let me grab, oops, wrong button. Let me grab website. Katie gets 2 thumbs up today. Let me grab website number 41 to get us started. So it looks like site number 41 is bitsybabyportraits.com. So let me just grab this and bring this over here so you guys can see that. and we're going to get 15 minutes up on the clock, and we'll start the review. Again, if you haven't had your site reviewed, the third site that we review today is going to come from one of you guys in the live chat audience. So make sure that you hit that link that I put in the top of the chat. It's also in the description below the video, and I'm sure Katie will be throwing it out periodically as well. Make sure that you get your site submitted for a chance for it to be reviewed today. We're going to get 15 minutes up on the clock and start up here with Bitsy Baby Portrait. So let me copy that. And here we go. There we go. Okay. So let me pull this down so you guys can see it. And I'm going to throw this link out in the chat so you guys have it. I have my T sitting right in front of me. Let me move it. So this is bitsybabyportraits.com. That is the web address. And we'll just start up here. One of the things I always like to start out up here with is just kind of the information that's in the website title. It's really important for SEO. Not so important up here. I think you guys hear me say that enough. But as you can say, or as you can see, Bitsy Baby Portraits has quite a bit of information up here. So if you guys saw that little hover, they have their location and the type of photography that they do all up here in the website title. So that's really good for their SEO. So nice job on that. Nice job paying attention to what's up here. This is really important for SEO. You do have the default favicon showing. Not a big deal breaker at all. Something to think about, though, is that when people are browsing for photographers, there's a chance that they're looking at other photographers, and there's a chance that those other photographers might also be on Zenfolio. And so if they have multiple tabs open up like I do when I'm searching for a service, it's nice to have your tab be distinguished with a custom favicon up here. So that is something to think about with this. Not a huge deal breaker, not a big thing. I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but it is something to think about. All right, let's bring this back up. Some beautiful images. Now, this is a very non-traditionally set up homepage, and I like it. I think it works really well. You've picked out some really nice images. I love how this full screen slideshow really lets the images take over the homepage, really presents them really nice and strong. So far, it's very obvious that you are a newborn photographer, a maternity photographer, just by looking at the images, not even moving any further. So I think you've done a really great job setting this up. Really nice. One of the things that I did notice, let me see if I can go back and find that right here. So a couple of photos, let me pause this. A couple of the photos here on your homepage do have your little, I'm tongue-tied today, your watermark over the images, okay? And typically I will recommend that you put watermarks on any of the photos that you're uploading and showing on your online. However, what do you guys think in chat about images on the homepage? Especially with this particular setup, it's almost like you already have your watermark here, because if I were to screenshot this image, I could crop that watermark out pretty easily just by coming right here. But if I were to do a full screenshot, this logo that you have in place on your homepage is basically in the same position as that watermark. And so it kind of acts as a watermark if we're doing like a full screen screenshot or something like that. So something to think about. I'm not saying that you need to remove that watermark. I'm just saying it's something to think about here on your homepage because it is a little distracting. But some beautiful, beautiful photos so far. I didn't count how many there were. I paused the slideshow. Let's see, just some absolute beautiful, beautiful photos. Now, let me see if I can get myself out of the way even further here, because you do have this kind of like logo set up right over here. I think this is a great homepage. I think it's nice. It's well thought out, some beautiful images, really simple. Let's go ahead and follow this path that you set up. Now, one of the things that I do want to check out really quick is I want to minimize this because I want you guys to see this. So that's what I was afraid of. So what I just did was I did a minus on my keyboard so I could kind of zoom things out. And if you noticed, we gained some site menu items. So before it kind of, and let me reset this really quick. So I'll just reset it to 100%. You can see right here, it stops at testimonials. When I do a command minus and get that zoomed out, okay, we start seeing these other options right here. And that's due to the lack of space on the homepage menu, particularly using this layout where your logo is here and you have your site menu items here. So a quick idea for you to fix this, something you could do to help out with this. You could definitely remove this home link off of your homepage menu. Now, if you guys didn't know, you can show links on your site menu in several different menus. You have 3 different menus. There's the homepage menu, which is uniquely only shown on the homepage, which is what we're looking at now. But then you have your header and your footer menu. And you can show those or turn those off on those different menus. So you might think about on your homepage, not having the home button here because obviously we don't need it, but still showing it on your footer and your header menu and the rest of your site. Also, maybe, not sure. That one could definitely come over. These could be brought over a little bit more. And then it does look like you do have some drop-down menus set up in here. So maybe thinking about, could I organize some of these in more drop-down menus so that these aren't getting lost? Because again, I had to zoom out of my browser to see those. If I reset it, they go away. And I do spend a lot of time talking about the menus, the navigation, because it's really one of the most important parts, in my opinion, of your website is setting up your navigation, the path that you want your visitors and your clients to follow. So let's go ahead and just follow this out. You have us starting off with packages first right here. So we're just going to hover over packages, and we have maternity, newborn, milestones, lots of different package options. So I'm going to guess that this is kind of like pricing information or something like that. So let's just start out up here and take a quick look. Okay, so maternity sessions, and this is a custom page. And just so you guys can see right here really quick, now that we have moved past the home page and we're into this custom page, we now get the header menu up here where you can see everything because there's not a logo on the header menu. So it gives us a lot of space here. And again, we could totally remove this home menu button from the homepage menu and just show it here on the header if we wanted to. So that's something you could definitely do. Okay, the maternity sessions, nice, beautiful maternity photo. Let's scroll down here. It looks like it's going to take a little bit of time and describe maternity sessions. Lots of good information. And then we come in here to get to your package information, pricing, and all of that stuff. I think that that's beautiful. One of the things that I would think about is we are kind of getting into pricing information first. Not that I have a problem with that at all. One thing I would think about is maybe in this blurb of text here somewhere, you do have down here, click here to book a session. So let's think about maybe changing the theme a little bit, getting that call out link to look a little bit more distinct from the rest of the text on here. The other thing to think about as well is we haven't seen your portfolio. We went right to the maternity sessions, not a problem at all. But if this is the first piece of information, chances are, okay, I'm seeing the images on your homepage. I'm seeing the one that I landed on here. But is there some other images that maybe I want to look at? Maybe having a link to your maternity portfolio from here as well might be helpful. Now, as a couple of you guys are mentioning in chat there, it says it's a completely different look from the homepage, and the fonts have changed. I would agree things are a little different from the homepage. That's because on the homepage we had those full screen images with the text over it. I don't know that it's a completely different look. It has changed some. It has this white background, whereas if you go back to the homepage, a lot of the images are on the darker side, not underexposed, but just the edges of the image and all of that are a little bit darker. And so it kind of went from a darker feel to a lighter feel. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Something that you might think about is how can you kind of keep that feel consistent across your site? Because again, if I go to home really quick, and it depends on what image you're looking at as well. So like on this image right here, it's not so different. But when you transition from this image to this page right here, notice the colors right there as well. So that's something that somebody was pointing out, is the colors in the menu versus the colors that you have up here. So some slight changes like that, things that you could look at to maybe how can you change that, keep it a little bit more consistent, especially those colors and those fonts. Definitely something that you want to think about there. Okay, let's go to your next package section. Actually, let's skip 3. Let's go to cake smashes. Let's take a look at that because I'm assuming these are probably going to be pretty consistent. Looks like they're super consistent. So one of the things that's really nice is that you can build these custom pages and this is really well done. So good job doing these custom pages. They're really well done, but it's nice that you can build these, and then once you have one built that works, you can use it over and over again as a template just to create new pages on different topics. Now, one of the things you might think about is the size of this image. This image is a beautiful image. It's really large. It's taking up a lot of real estate when really the important stuff is kind of down here. Also, this could be a slideshow rather than just a single static image. So something to think about here as well is presenting this in a little bit different way. But great job tackling these custom pages. I love seeing that. Let's go down. Let's look at one more package option. Let's check out your seniors, and then we'll move on because you do have a lot of site menu items to get through. Okay, so again, it looks like you've created one page that works, used it as a kind of template, and you've produced more pages based on that template. Wonderful job doing that. This is a really great thing to do, is using that template, recycling it, using it for other pages, just changing the content. So great job here. One of the things I noticed is you do have this click here to book a session. Let's see where this is going, because so this is going to your contact page. Great job setting that up. That is something that I have suggested on past live streams. One thing that you might think about doing, though, is Book Me, right? Book Me is a new feature that we launched probably a couple of weeks back, and it will allow people to book online with you, and you can actually show that book a session button on your custom pages and your galleries and all kinds of things. So a really useful tool. Make sure that you're going and checking out Book Me. If you haven't watched the live streams on it, we've done 2 different live streams on it. It actually allows you to offer mini sessions now as well. So a really cool tool. You can replace you can use it, and you can actually replace all of this text right here with click the book a session button to get started or something like that. And then you could have that book a session button showing down here, wherever you want it to show. And then people can actually book you based on your calendar availability and actually pay for that booking all right here on your site, rather than having to reach out to you and doing all the back and forth now. So again, wonderful site so far. I'm super impressed with what I've seen. There's just some really small things that I would think about. The colors and fonts being one of the things, making sure that they're consistent. Maybe the size of this image, maybe making this a slideshow versus just a single static image, or maybe just making it a little smaller. But I think you've got a really cool site. I know we're running out of time fast, so let's go up here and let's take a look at your portfolio. So I'm just going to click on the maternity portfolio really quick here and take a look. And this is landing me on a shopping page. Now, this is a little weird of a feeling for me when I'm expecting to see a portfolio. So when you click on this, it goes right into this. And this brings up a lot of questions for me. So first of all, we went from an all white background to the black background on this kind of what's called the quick shop page. That is the default. You can go in and switch this, but I'm just curious as to why you are landing people on this type of page versus a gallery thumbnail page. Also, with this being your portfolio, not sure how I feel about there being a price list attached and the option to buy portfolio images. So definitely some things that I would think about. I would prefer to be landed onto a gallery thumbnail page where there is some information, some text, hopefully some, and let me just show you how I got to where I just got to. Hopefully some categories and keywords, all things to help your SEO. So this is a big thing for me here. The way your portfolio works, the way your portfolio looks. Right now, this page landing like this, I can't tell if you have categories and keywords, gallery captions, and I'm not sure that this is the best presentation for visitors looking to see quick examples of your work on this landing page. Curious what you guys think in chat. Let me know in chat what you guys think about landing on this page for a portfolio view. Now I've got like 1 minute and 24 seconds left. We're going to have another site to review. So if you guys watching live can throw a number out between 1:15 to 2:30. That will determine the next site that we review. So that's 1:15 to 2:30. And we're going to keep going here. So let's just kind of browse through here. Again, you do have some absolutely beautiful images. I'm just not sure this is the landing page that I would prefer for your portfolio. Now, the other thing that I would look at here is if we drop this down really quick, one of the things is that if I hit this back button, I'm not going back to this gallery. I'm like going back to this website's gallery. And I'm not sure if this is a page that you intentionally want people to access or not. Also here, the colors have changed as well. So this is definitely something to think about, the consistency of the colors. And just again, the landing page that I landed on for that portfolio is definitely something I would think about. Let's go check out your 1 Year Cake Smash. I want to try a different portfolio really quick and see we're getting the exact same experience. Now there are some benefits to this page. You can navigate with your mouse, which is nice and easy. I'm just not sure this is the best choice to land a visitor on when they're just trying to look at examples of your work, and then you have the buy button showing up here and there's not a lot of thumbnail information or anything like that. So sorry I couldn't get through your whole site. I did run out of time. Some beautiful, beautiful photos. Really, I think that you've got a good start. I would definitely think about going back and looking at the way that that portfolio is set up, looking at how it looks when people land on there, because again, having a nice thumbnail view where they can quickly browse, that buy button is not in their face. I'm always weirded out. Maybe weirded out's not the right choice of words. I'm always curious as to landing on a portfolio page to show examples of your work and then having the buy button on here. Definitely makes sense, like if it was fine art or landscape or things like that. But just having a buy button showing on portfolio of other client works, I've just always been a little an understanding of that. So this is definitely something I would think about. But thank you so much for submitting your site for review. I hope that I gave you some helpful tips and points. Guys, I need another number for the next site. So somebody put a number in the chat between 115 to 230. That's going to be the next site that we review. Somebody get me a number in the chat really quick while I'm waiting on you guys for that. Let me go say hi to some of you guys and read some of the comments up here that we have. Let's see. Who did I miss not saying hi to? Mark Sorbin says yo. Mike Sorbin says yo. Let's see who else do we have join us. We had Pro Exposure Photography joining us. Let's see who else is on here. Zapcat says hi. Lynn says 116. So we'll go grab site 116. And guys, the next site after this one is going to be one of your guys' sites. So make sure that you are submitting those. If you haven't had your site reviewed yet, make sure you get those submitted. Let's go grab site 116. Mr. Lynn throwing that number out. Thank you, Lynn. And that looks like that site is going to be... is it deniseschaefer.com. So let me get that pulled over here for you guys really quick. And we will get that up on that review time up on the clock. So it's Denise, is it Schaffer or Schaefer? I'm probably saying it wrong. You can definitely correct me if you're hanging out with us live and I'm pronouncing it wrong. Let me throw that out there in the chat for you. And we'll just go ahead and get the review clock started. There we go. Okay, 15 minutes up on the clock. Let me bring this down. So just starting up here, let's see what we have up here in this, your website title. It looks like just your business name. So you can definitely add more information into this. Also, we're seeing the default favicon here. Katie's helping me with the name. She says it's Schaefer. So I totally got it wrong. Thank you, Katie, for that. But let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll talk about this. So the first thing that I'm noticing out the gate is, one, I really love the look of this. I like the black and white feel to it. I just like the way that it's set up. One of the things that's a little weird for me is that we kind of have two menus going on here. So we have what I assume would be the homepage menu and the homepage logo, which I think are cool. And then we also have the footer menu and footer logo going on down here. What do you guys think about that in chat? For me, the two menus, I think that it's useful if it's a long scrolling page where I've scrolled all the way down to the bottom. I don't want to have to go back up to the top, even though there's a keyboard shortcut. I usually always forget. So it's nice to have that footer menu. But when I can see both of them on the page, that's a little strange for me unless there's a really specific reason why there's two menus and the bottom menu has other options and the top one doesn't. So I would probably consider turning that off. The nice thing when you do that is it's going to give you more space for your images. So that's going to kind of drop down and show more images here. Curious what you guys think in chat there, though. Okay, So just starting here, let me bring this down. We have home, portfolio, about, contact, client, access, fine art prints, and gift to session. And you are using the photo strip option, which basically is a nice option if you want to show landscape oriented photos and full screen, or not full screen, I'm sorry, portrait oriented images. This actually force fits those in there. So it's really nice because then you don't have to worry about your photos being cut off or anything like that. Now, the downside to the photo strip is that it is not an automatic slider. It does require some manual interaction from your visitors, so they do kind of have to move their mouse over it. But let's just scroll along and take a look at some of these photos. Nice. So I am seeing some really interesting photos, just absolutely gorgeous photos, a really interesting mixture of photos as well. So some really cool stuff in here. Let's just keep going. Okay, and let's keep going. Just want to see how many images we get to. So really interesting. I'm not going to keep going. I think that there's some absolutely beautiful photos. Look at that. That's just a really cool photo. And then I like the way that you have these mixed in here, really showing the diversity of your work. It does look like maybe you kind of specialize in portraits and things like that. So, but some absolutely beautiful, beautiful photos. Really, really nice work. So let's go ahead and bring this site menu down and let's just kind of follow this navigation that you kind of set up for us. So we're going to go to your portfolio first and click on that. And let's just take a look. So the portfolio is taking us to the portfolio folder or the portfolio group. Now this is something that's usually there by default whenever you kind of create your Zenfolio account. It's not a horrible setup, but it is a little bit click intensive for people who want to look at the different type of work that you do. So just to show you, if I wanted to navigate between your different portfolios, I would click here. I would go into your art prints. And then if I wanted to go look at a different portfolio, I then have to come back up here or go here and click back and then go into your next portfolio. So that's not horrible, but it is a little more click intensive when this could be a drop-down menu, kind of like you have client access set up. So I could go portfolio art prints, portfolio band, portfolio the rest of your portfolios. So something to think about. That drop-down menu is just going to increase the speed and the ability of visitors to get quickly to the information that they're looking for. Let's start on your art prints though. Let's take a quick look. So I definitely feel like there's some key things missing here. For instance, art prints. That's the title of the gallery. Let's think about that title a little bit more. Are you selling your art prints as wall art? So think about things that people might be searching for that you would like them to land on your art prints. And let's get that in the title. Let's think about a caption, putting a caption in here just to help your SEO, to help your search results, help people find this better. And now I'm not seeing a buy button, so that tells me that there's not a price list applied to this gallery. So something you might think about there, if it's because you just don't want to mess with the prints and that stuff, I definitely understand that. You could build a price list with our integrated vendors and be super hands-off of the ordering process and just sit back and collect the profit off of your orders. So something to think about there. If you have these images up online, why not go ahead and have them available for purchase? It's pretty easy to set that up. Let's take a look at how these open. So these are just kind of opening up to the dim the lights mode, which is kind of the view that I like for portfolios. I think this is a nice presentation. Again, just some stellar images. I don't know about you guys, but I love the use of negative space in this image alone right here. I think that this is really cool. Let's keep going. Okay, really cool. Going down to the bottom, you have guest books on here, but no categories and keywords. So definitely something that I would think about. For sure, is adding in categories and keywords. Again, this is just going to help people find this page, find your images, and hopefully get them placing orders or get them hiring you as a photographer. But really, really beautiful photos. Let's go back to your portfolio and let's check out your band photography really quick. All right. So again, some really cool photos. Just some outstanding work, just absolutely beautiful work. Again, would love to see a caption up here, would love to see a little bit more information. One of the things that I am not sure of is what locations you service, because I have not seen locations mentioned at all yet. So when I talk about captions and galleries, that's something that you can put in there and say is, you know, I like photographing bands. I like photographing the local bands here in the blah, blah, blah area. Some of my favorite bands are this. Click here to contact me about doing a photo shoot with your band or something like that. So these are ways that you can utilize that gallery caption to tell people where you are, tell people the type of services you offer, and encourage them to contact you in kind of a conversational way versus I'm located in this and you should hire me, click here kind of thing. So something to think about here. The other thing too is I see Darren is pointing out is that the band photos are for sale, whereas the art prints were not for sale. So again, a little confused on that fact. Maybe it was just a misplaced price list. So just something to think about, really making sure that you have those price lists applied to the galleries that you meant for them to be applied to. Great point there, Darren Mark, pointing out there in the chat. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's go to your portraits, because I'm curious to see the portraits gallery, and then I'm going to try to make it to the rest of your site. I haven't been able to get very far today. I apologize, but let's see. So same feedback here, thinking about the gallery title, thinking about captions and keywords and things like that, but some absolute beautiful, beautiful work. This one's really cool. Let's keep going here. So some really, really cool photos. Now, there are a lot of photos in this gallery versus the other gallery. One of the things I would think about is definitely coming in here because you don't want people to have to scroll a long way. So one of the things I would think about is coming in here and cherry picking these images, right? Showing the best of the best. Usually what I will say is target 10 to 20 photos maximum of your very best work, and then you don't want to just leave that. That's something that should be updated as you're doing more work, as you're getting photos that you like better, going back and revisiting these portfolios and making sure that you're updating it and not adding to, but replacing. So constantly keeping your best work in there is something that you want to focus on as well. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Again, no categories and keywords here, not really a call to action. I think you have some beautiful, beautiful photos, but I would definitely consider setting this up with a caption, keywords, and all of that good stuff. All right, let's go to your About page and take a look. All right, cool. I like the About photo. I like that it's super casual. If you are a fun-loving and super casual photographer and you really work on the experience and keeping your clients from feeling like they're under a lot of pressure to perform and you just have fun, I think that your photo should show that, and this one definitely does. It's just super chilled out, and I like it. I definitely think you could add some more information in here. For instance, I still have no idea where you're located. That is information that I would love to see. For sure, definitely having some more information in here about where you're located. You talk about that you love movies and you love furniture, the beach, architecture, and music. What are some specific things? Maybe you and I like the same band. And so thinking about if a visitor has got to this point, they've looked at your work, they've decided they like your work. Now they're trying to figure out if they're going to like you as a photographer. And how many times have you guys made new friends because you just realized that you had common music taste, that you liked the same bands or something like that, and you're like, oh, this person's my new best friend. So things like that, that's the kind of stuff that you want to have in this About page. You want to make this grab their attention and let them know that they're going to love working with you and give them reasons why. So something to think about there. The music thing can be risky. It depends on the type of music that you like, the type of music that your clients like, but that will also help you make sure that you are getting the people that you want to work with and not just everybody, because one of the hardest lessons I had to learn as a photographer is that everybody is not your client. There are definitely people that you probably don't want to work with. And so as long as you're doing what you can to bring in your target client and not just everybody, right, then that your About page is doing a good job. As Darren's saying, this is where I would say I'd love to see an About video. Nothing better than you talking about why you love what you do and what you're passionate about. But a well done About page can do the job as well. let's keep moving on. Let's take a look at your contact page really quick. Guys, we got like 3 minutes left in this review, so if you haven't submitted your site to be reviewed, the next site that we're going to review is going to come from you guys hanging out with us in chat, so make sure you get that site submitted. All right, the contact page looks like this is the about page, or the built-in contact page, perfectly fine to use. This is where we finally see a little bit about where you're located here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 site menus items in, and finally I see where you're located. I would definitely love to see this on the homepage in your captions of your portfolios, right? You can take that information and reword it. I'm a portrait photographer located in, I'm a band photographer located in, or I like photographing local bands in, and adding that location information so that you're presenting it to your visitors and they're not having to search for it. So something to think about there. Okay, client access. So let's take a look at this really quick. Let's just see. I'm just curious to see how this is going to work. What do you guys think about having client access on your web page? So this is one of the things that always concerns me, because sometimes if we're not sure how to set up the access control, we might be trying to make it really easy for our clients to access their galleries, but in turn, we might also make it really easy for the general public and people that we do not want seeing client galleries able to access client galleries. So because this clearly stated that these are client galleries, I am not going to click on any of these because they're client galleries. I don't want to invade anybody's privacy or get anything on here that's not supposed to be seen. Something to think about. What do you guys think in chat? Do you show client galleries on your site? Personally, I don't. I use the direct email option just because of that schedule feature that saves my life all the time. And I just don't like having to deal with people trying to access things that they shouldn't access and they know that they shouldn't try to access. So something to think about there. Let's move over to your fine art prints. We got like 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Let's see. So we had fine art prints in your portfolio as well. This looks like, is this the same gallery or is this a different one? Let's just take a look. So we're going to click on this. And okay, so this gallery does have something for sale. Now it looks like each one of these photos are in their own gallery. So if I click on this photo, for instance, it looks like it's in a gallery by itself. And it has the buy button here. Let's just click on this and see what's up with this. Okay. And so what it looks like that you've done is you've set up a gallery for each image because maybe you want different price list options. You don't actually have to put them in different galleries to do this. You can apply different price lists to individual images. So if you are making price lists for specific images, you can apply it right to the image. And that's something that we teach in the advanced selling course, by the way, which you can sign up for free and join. The link to do that is in the description below. So it's one of the things that I teach in that class is how you can build price lists for specific images so you can make sure that you're offering print products that work well for that image. Overall, Denise, I think that you have a really cool site. I would definitely think about your portfolio, the presentation, the navigation, and then going back and utilizing those gallery titles, captions, and then getting the keywords on there. So unfortunately, I ran out of time before I could get through the whole thing, but thank you so much for submitting your site. Hopefully I gave you some good points and some places to start and things to think about. All right, let me close this down. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get a sip of tea. You guys, next we're going to do the live site review for somebody from the live chat audience. So this is your absolute last chance. If you haven't submitted your site, go ahead and get that submitted. Next will be the live chat audience live site review. I'll be right back after a few minutes.
Hello Zen friends, Katie here from Zenfolio's customer support team. Thank you for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. If you are here for our live broadcast, you may already see me right over here in YouTube chat, ready to help with any questions you may have. For those of you watching the recorded version of our broadcast, you can submit any questions that you might have in the link below in the video description. You can also submit your own site for our review in the links below. Also, if you love us as much as we love you, please be sure to click the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel for lots of great info on managing your Zenfolio account and customizing your site. We're so grateful to have these pre-submitted user sites. Now let's take one of your live submissions. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching.
All right, thank you so much. Again, Katie does such an amazing job. You guys have no idea how ridiculous I would look if she wasn't in our sidebar chat, keeping me under control, telling me that I'm saying things wrong and pronouncing things wrong, and spelling out the pronunciations for me. So again, I appreciate her doing that for me every week. Let's see. Darren says, English man here wanting to know what tea? Nothing fancy, but I'm definitely up for recommendations. This is just Bigelow green tea with ginger. Plus, this has probiotics in it, so nothing special. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. Bigelow tea, wink, wink. But yeah, just green tea with ginger. So I always try to make sure I'm drinking a little bit of tea with ginger in it. Another tea that I've been doing pretty heavy lately is I'm going to say it wrong. You guys can totally make fun of me, but matcha green tea with turmeric in it, or turmeric, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. But that's another tea that I've been drinking pretty heavy recently that I've really liked. Okay, let's get to the live chat member or chat audience site review. It looks like this one is going to be Russell. Is it footphoto.com? So let's bring this over. Let me get this over here. And we'll get that review time started here on the clock. So let me get 15 minutes. Let me throw the link to that out there for you guys really quick. There we go. And we'll get the 15 minutes up on the clock and get this party started. There we go. Okay, so just bringing this down. Everybody's saying Earl Grey all the way. Darren says English breakfast with boiled in a kettle, not a microwave. I'll have to try that. Usually I do the hot water from the Keurig, so I kind of cheat that way. Okay, so the link is footphoto, F-O-O-T-E, photo.com, and it's Russell Foot Photography. So just starting up here, at the top, Russell, looks like you do have a favicon. Keep in mind that favicon is going to be 16 by 16 pixels. So sometimes taking your logo and just downsizing it doesn't work really well. In this case, as some of the people are already mentioning over there that you have a really cool logo, maybe think about just taking all the text out of that, leaving the footprints, and making that a transparent PNG where it just has those footprints right up here. I think that would be really cool. Also, again, think about up here, think about your title, right? This can have a lot more information than just your business name. Do a little tube, drop in the location, the type of photography that you do, all vital information. And again, this is something that I talked about, I think it wasn't last week, maybe it was the week before on Zenfolio Live, where I came back and talked about SEO stuff that I find constantly on Site Review Tuesday that I talk about. I actually show how to go back in and change these things. So if I could get Katie to drop the link to that Zenfolio Live, you guys can go check that out. Super helpful, a lot of good stuff in there. Okay, we're just going to keep moving down. I do like the setup of this. I like the way that this is laid out. So we see your logo up here, really cool. And then we have got portfolios, events, guest book, about, contact, and client list. And it does look like there's quite a few images here on the homepage. So let's scroll down and take a look at these images. So definitely something I would think about on this homepage here is if you want to show this grid, use this grid to your advantage. Let this be kind of like a portfolio preview, right? Let this show maybe one photo or two, the very best one or two photos of the different genres of photography that you shoot. When you do that, let's also make sure that we make this grid a little smaller so that all of those images fit onto the homepage and in the screen here, and I don't have to scroll down. There are a lot of images here, and so something to think about. Because just looking at this right now, without scrolling down, without looking at anything else, I'm thinking, okay, Russell does architecture photography, and that's what I'm expecting to see. But then I have to kind of scroll down to see the rest of this stuff. So something to think about here, all right, is how can you use that grid to your advantage, make some of these smaller, cherry pick these, and get this a little bit more strategically set up. Not a bad setup, just a little bit more strategic about how it's set up. Let's go check out your portfolios. Okay, and just like I said on the past sites, this is a cumbersome navigation, or can be. So if I'm a visitor, and it looks like you do lots of different types of photography, and if I'm a visitor and I want to look through these different portfolios, and you have a lot of portfolios here for us to look through, so definitely something to think about. You do have a lot of portfolios, but if I'm a visitor and I'm looking through these portfolios, think about how can you set up your portfolio navigation to get me as quick as possible to the specific portfolios that I, as a visitor, am most interested in. So what I would think about is, first of all, what type of photography do you enjoy doing the most of? That's a portfolio that you want to make sure is featured. What do you feel like you're best at? And then setting up a portfolio navigation here, rather than having to click in here and then click on a portfolio and then having to come back, being able to access it all from the drop down. Because some of these galleries in here look like they're maybe client galleries, like Destiny's photo shoot. Not sure if that's a portrait session or not. Not sure if that's a portfolio or not. It looks more like a client gallery, so something I would think about here. So let's just start off with dogs. I'm not going to have time to go into all the portfolios that you have here, but I do want to show you this navigation and kind of just take a look at it. So as always, thinking about the titles, the captions, and let's scroll down and take a look here. Some really cool images, some beautiful, beautiful dogs. I am a big dog lover, for those of you guys who didn't know. At one point in time, I had a Great Dane, a Lab, and a Chihuahua, and they could all three, well, the Great Dane would stand up, the Lab could stand under the Great Dane, and the Chihuahua could stand under the Lab. It was really funny. I don't know why I never got a photo of it. And my Great Dane looked a lot like this guy right here. His name was Gandalf. Beautiful dog photos, absolutely beautiful photos. Lots of photos in here. So for your portfolio, you definitely want to be thinking about showing the best of the best, right? Your 10 to 20 best dog images, making sure that you're culling images, keeping them slimmed down, keeping them updated, and then captioning them, categorizing them, having keywords and all of that stuff show. So those are some things in here that you want to think about. I'm not seeing captions and keywords. I'm not seeing categories and keywords down here. So if you have these images keyworded, it's not doing you any good. Also up here at the top, same thing. There's no information in the title, no information in the caption. So a lot of information that could be added that will help you show up higher on search results, that will help people find your site better. And then again, just turning this into a drop down rather than now I have to go back here and click on the next photo or the next portfolio. So let's see. Let's go to your corporate portraits. And I'm going to do one more portfolio and then we'll try to progress to the rest of the site. Maybe I'll do 2 more portfolios. Corporate portraits. These are pretty strong portraits. Really nice work. Again, just beautiful photos. Let's see. Okay. So, and is this let's click on an image here to see. So some of these have titles, some of these don't. Something to think about here. All right. So again, I would think about the caption, the title, corporate portraits. Are these specific clients that you could name drop up here, right? Think about that. Are these specific clients that you could name drop in the caption? What location? Because I'm still not sure what location you're at yet. And then obviously down here at the bottom, showing captions or categories and keywords. Also up here at the top too, I don't know if select photos or slideshow needs to be here, with this being a portfolio. So something to think about as well. All right, let's go look at a couple more portfolios and then we'll keep moving on. Let's see here. Let's go to, because some of these do not look like portfolio galleries to me. They look more like client galleries. So I'm trying to make sure. Okay, so here's portfolio photos. And then we have a bunch of like new gallery, new gallery, new gallery. So it's definitely something to think about here. I would really come back and look at this portfolio. Look at the way it's set up. Test the navigation. Think about, if I was hiring somebody and I had to look at their portfolio, how would I want it to function for me? right? Because when I look at things, I want somebody to take me to the most relevant information that I want to know is in the least amount of steps as possible. That shows me that whoever you are, you understand what I'm thinking about. You're thinking about me, and so you're setting up your site to accommodate me. In this case, being a visitor, trying to find examples of your work as quick as possible and going to where I can see the best examples of your work and not having a lot of things that I have to browse through. So something to think about here. Let's take a look at the panoramic really quick. I'm assuming that most of these are going to be set up pretty consistent. So again, this is the panoramics. You can think up here like the name of the gallery, captions, keywords, all of that stuff is really important. Let's go ahead and take a look at your events page. Let's see where this is taking us to. All right, and so this looks like, again, more kind of like client galleries, maybe along the lines of events that you've done. And so I would really, really think about the way that you have that portfolio set up for navigation, right? Because I'm a little confused at this point. I saw what I thought was portfolios, and some of the galleries looked like portfolios, but some of them, a lot of them look like client galleries. Now I went to your events, not really sure what I'm going to get, but I was expecting like maybe events that you were going to be at photographing, maybe events that you had been, which it looks like some of these are, but then again, also some of these do look like client galleries. And so as a visitor, and a visitor's perspective is what I always try to take on, because in my mind, and you guys let me know in the chat if you think that I'm wrong on this, but in my mind, your website is for client acquisition. And the most important person on your website is that potential client that you haven't got yet. And so you want to be setting up your site to catch that potential client, and doing that by providing the most relevant information to them and getting them where they need to be as easy as possible, and presenting the information that they're looking for as quickly and easy as possible. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going on here. Let's take a look. So again, these look like a lot of client galleries if it was going to be events. And if this is the way that you have this set up so that clients can navigate to their event galleries, you might consider adding that to that site menu title here, right? Client events, or find your event photos. This way, I know that this is going to be client galleries or past events that you've been at, right? Not that this is where I'm going to see event photos or events that you're going to be at. So just thinking about how you have this worded. Let's check out your guest book. Usually guest books turn into a place like this, right? So here is something to think about. If you're going to show the guest book, which I usually typically don't, if you're going to show the guest book, let's make sure that that guest book moderation is turned on so that people can't just come in here and publicly spam your guest book. Because what happens, and a lot of times when I see guest books left on, this is what I see right here. This has nothing to do with your photography. This isn't a client testimonial. This is probably a bot spamming any place across the web that it can span. And so that is something that I would definitely think about. Usually I turn the guest book off, but again, if you're going to leave the guest book on, you can there's an option in there where you can say public posts must be approved by me before posting. Again, I turn this off usually and don't bother with it. If you want to do client testimonials, you can do that through custom pages pretty simply, and it looks really, really nice. But if you want to leave the guest book on, let's just go in and clean it up and make sure it doesn't become a place where people go to spam random things. You can see some really weird things in here sometimes. So like here's WeBrute provides complete security to your security devices, because we're going around spamming places, but we're going to provide security. So yeah, so let's avoid stuff like that. So just thinking about your site again from a visitor's perspective, I am saying these things because I want you to have a successful site. And so if I'm just giving you my visitor's take on this, I've looked at the portfolio. The portfolio navigation was a little confusing. And I just want you to think about this. The portfolio navigation was a little confusing. Sometimes I felt like I was looking at client galleries, and I just didn't know where I was supposed to go to really find that solid portfolio examples of the work that you want to be hired to do. Then I went to events. I was a little confused by events, but it wasn't a big deal. But then by the fourth site menu in, or the third that I actually clicked on, guest books, I'm now seeing a lot of spam. And so something to think about is the visitor's experience to this point, right? I'm confused. And so thinking about that, how can you use these points to modify your site to make this experience better so that rather than somebody being confused and leaving, you are showing them what they want to see, you're reassuring them that they're going to like you, and then you're getting them to contact you. That's the goal, right? Okay, let's go check out your About page. We have like 1 minute and 46 seconds left. This is a really great About photo. Love this About photo. About your photographer, has been a professional photographer and business owner for over 30 years. All right, lots of good information here. So this is nice. I think this has got a lot of good stuff. You're a member of the PPGBA, Professional Photographers of Greater Bay Area. And let's just see down here. So again, that kind of gives me a sense of your location. But again, I'm looking for a solid something that tells me this is where I'm located and this is what I do. Love this photo. I love that you have a lot of information in here. You're a master photographer. Looks like you said you're a master photographer. Nice. Or that you studied with master photographers. Okay, actually I have to read it. So that's really cool. You're on the East Coast and the West Coast, so you're all over. I think that you got a great About page. Again, I want some things to stand out to me. The type of photography that you do, the locations that you service, those kinds of things are what I'm looking to stand out on here. So let's go ahead and take a look at your contact page really quick. I'm guessing this is going to be the built-in contact page. And again, even here, I just see your address as the US. So I'm still left kind of wondering what type of photography you do. I see that you do a lot of types of photography, but what do you specialize in? What locations locally do you service? That is some information that I'm looking for that I'm just kind of left wondering, right? And so thinking about that, how can you use this information to go back, make these modifications, and make this visitor experience a totally different experience? That is what I want you guys to get out of these site reviews. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little harsh, and I don't mean to be, because I just want you guys, we all want you guys to be successful photographers here on Zenfolio. It's not just me. We want you guys to be successful photographers, which is why we do these site reviews every single Tuesday. All right, Russell, thank you so much for submitting your site. Hopefully I gave you some good pointers, some good things to look at, some good things to think about. Everybody who submitted their site today, thank you guys so much for submitting your sites. Hopefully everybody found this helpful. Let me go back and check on you guys on chat here really quick. Let's see. So we had Darren saying bold text, hard to read, bullet points, and few clients or consider using the logos. Let's see. What else we have on here? June says, hi, Darren. I didn't know this was weekly. So, hey, June, absolutely. Yes, we do these site reviews every single Tuesday. Same time, same exact place every Tuesday. Every site review is live. You can submit your site to be reviewed. So hopefully we'll see you again on next Tuesday. Let's see. You see here, Pro Photographer says, awesome advice. Oh, thank you guys. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I feel like I'm too harsh, but it's just because I really care about you guys and I really want you guys to be successful. We all really care about you guys and want you guys to be successful as photographers and in life as well, just in general. All right, we got like 2 minutes left, so I do want to say thank you guys so much to all of you who hung out with me today. Darren, Mark, Lynn, June, let's see, who else? Who else is on here that I missed? Pro Exposure Photography, Photography by Ginger. A lot of you guys on here today. If I miss your name, I'm sorry. Home Phone, Zapcat. I think there was Mike Sorben. All of you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so much, more than you guys know. You guys make my Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is also how I keep track of what day it is during this weird COVID time that we're going through, is by, hey, am I live streaming today? Oh, it's Tuesday. Yes, I get to go live and hang out with my friends. Or is it Thursday? Yes, I get to go live and hang out with my friends again on Thursday, which is what I love. I just feel like I am hanging out with my friends and chatting about photography and websites. So it totally makes my day. I look forward to these live streams every week. But again, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, and again, I can't believe that I get to say this, Thursday, Jeff Cable is going to be on Zenfolio Live, hanging out with me. We're going to have a chat. You guys are going to get to ask him questions. Cannot wait for that. I'm super excited. Cannot wait to see the advice that Jeff's going to give and just to have him answer questions from you guys and just chat about a few things. So I'm super excited about that. So if you have never joined a Zenfolio live stream on Thursday, make sure that you mark it down in your calendars. Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to jump on our YouTube channel. It's the same link. It's youtube.com/Zenfolio/live. Or if you want to make it easy, go on the YouTube app on your phone, subscribe to our channel, click the little bell icon, and then you'll actually get a notification every time I hit the live button so that you know to jump on and hang out with us on a live stream. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure that this week, tomorrow, today, sometime that you do something nice for somebody, encourage somebody, lift somebody up. Let's work together to make the world a better place. Until Thursday, I hope that you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys all again this Thursday.